All right, let's head back to the main page, take a look at if any of the matches have started segment 10. Well, segment 8, legitimately segment 8. I noticed earlier they have this segment 4, which is just completely blank, and segment 6, which is also just completely blank. And I have no idea what's going on. I wonder if this is a technology issue. Ooh, as I was doing that, segment 10 has started. So let me quickly look, see if the other stream has come back online. They've not. It's just me. I get to decide what I want to do. This is wonderful. I think I'm going to stick with the Fleisher-Levine match. I am very familiar with a lot of these players. In fact, almost everyone in both matches, other than Mike Levine. I don't know the sponsor all that well on that team. But I'm going to stick with this one. And, whoops. Got to click on open room or close room. Waiting for the players to trickle in. So if Fleischer's playing six-handed, that probably means Joe Grue and Brad Moss are going to come in for Chip and Marty for this final set. I mean, it might depend on which partnership feels like they're playing better. It's very possible that Joe and Brad have decided to take a break because they just weren't feeling all that good today. Or maybe they took a break in the last set because they were ahead by like 50 and figured that they might still be ahead by 50 at the end of it. We don't really know. It would be great if I could be at some of these events while I was doing commentary. That way I could get some insight into the players. That could be an idea for the future. But, I mean, again, it's kind of a big commitment to travel, especially if I'm not playing in one of these things. Anyway, we will sit here for a minute, see who ends up in this room, and then get underway. The best feeling in a teams event is having your teamies beat you on datum. It's definitely good for your results. It might depend on whether or not your contract is at stake if your teammates beat you. I guess there could be a lot of anxiety about trying to score well if you're not on your sponsor's good side. But I think most of these players are kind of well-seated in their teams, not really going to get cut from the squad after just one event if they have a poor performance. I will say, though, that when I played in some of these bigger events on six-handed teams, there was a lot of discussion about, like, who is playing well, and we want to keep the players who are playing well in. So, again, just speculation. I have no idea what actually is going on, why Joe Grue and Brad Moss were sitting, why Marty Fleischer and Chip Martell were in for the last set. But I think a couple of points. Marty Fleischer, while he is the sponsor of the team, he's actually quite a strong expert player in general. There are a couple of blind spots that he has that I think most experts don't. But for the most part, he plays quite well. And also, he makes a ton of good standard expert false cards. He reads hands very well on Declare, kind of taking anti-percentage lines if he thinks it's right. So it's not as if Chip and Marty are a fairly weak pair. I'm just still surprised that they were playing in the last quarter. Brad says, I played a bunch of five-handed teams. Always fun to see how they handle the lineup dynamics. Yeah. One of the things that I did in the past, especially with a bunch of junior players, was to play like 4, 5, or even six-handed teams and just rotate partnerships throughout. It became a bit of a chore if we all had different cards that we were playing with everyone. But when we would just like have one specific tailored junior card that all of us would play, and then we like drew straws for who played with who every set. I found that to be a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong, I love playing with regular partners that I get along with well, but I think it's kind of a fun thing to like mix stuff up and, you know, figure out your partner's strengths and weaknesses while you're playing with them. Like, are they better at defending? Are they good at opening leads? Are they good at this, good at that? Those sorts of things. I suspect the break is probably going to be not too long. This isn't like a dinner break or something where people run off for an hour and a half. It should only be... Oh, actually, I know exactly how long the break is. Look at this. Look at this. I will draw your attention to the top right of the screen where it says break. And there's just a little countdown timer. That's wonderful. Now we know. So we'll be back in about 10 minutes. 14 imps for Levine. Also a lot of imps in this match. So the nickel match had over 400 imps between the two teams. Same with this one. You draw straws for your club teams, which is 5-handed. The best thing you've seen for choosing who sits out was whoever can keep their shoes on their hands for the longest gets to sit out. like handstand style. So you gotta put your hands inside your shoes and keep your legs up in the air. That's exciting. It's like a reward to sit out. You don't have to work anymore. Someone took... Oh, this is like a days long competition. Oh my god. And I suppose it's honor system. You don't want to you don't want to have some reality TV show of a bunch of New Zealanders just like walking around with shoes on their hands. I mean, some people might pay to watch that. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. What kind of shoes, though? Because if they were like Crocs or something, I have to imagine it's not so bad. But if they're like formal dress shoes or whatever, it's gonna start getting pretty gross. Whatever you were wearing for the day. Gotcha. Seven minutes to go. I wonder if there's any reason why the players can't start before the break. I know that we basically, for these events, just wanted to get people playing as quickly as possible. But I guess maybe there's some sort of security concerns if people start early, or maybe it's just like bad for broadcasting if they start early. It's kind of set up on a timer that this VuGraph room starts with the 30-minute delay. Well, let's head back to the scorecard and just take a look at the final results for, with one segment to play, 15 boards. So Nickel way ahead of Grue, Leibowitz, sizable lead over Simpson. My suspicion is that they will play the last segment, but it's possible that there's a concession. I think it would be... I don't know how to put it. I have talked about conceding matches in the past and how it's kind of it's a little unfair to the field if someone concedes a match and gives one team a full segment off. But it's also kind of like unsportsmanlike to continue playing a match when you're down by this amount. So I can see it going both ways. And then Fleisher, Levine, Rosenthal, Bramley are pretty close. Rob asks, who's my tip to win? Well, I would say Nickel is definitely one of the favorites. I mean, they've been a staple in US Bridge for a very long time. And, you know, obviously some quite strong players. There is the new partnership of... Hold on, I'm trying to figure out who the new partnership is because these aren't listed in partnership order. I assume Greco and Hampson are playing and Levin and Weinstein are playing. Oh, sorry. No, man, I was thinking new partnership because of Meckstroth, but Meckstroth is on a different team. Where is Meckstroth? Oh, he's on Fleisher. Anyway, I'm all discombobulated. Okay, Nickel has 3 of their normal partnerships. Nickel and Katz have been playing together for like centuries at this point. And same thing with Greco Hampson and Levin Weinstein. So they're definitely the favorite. If I had to pick a dark horse, I would say Levine has legitimate chances. So for starters, Fleisher is a very, very strong squad. Anyone who defeats this squad is obviously among the best teams in the world. And Levine has a lot of players that, I mean, for one, I'm familiar with them, so maybe I'm a little bit biased, but Daniel Korbel, Kevin Dwyer, Roger Lee. I've played on teams with Shan Wang before as well. And all of them can generate just like 50, 60 imps in a segment if they're having a good day. You played with Roger before, Roger Lee? Yeah, he's he's an interesting one. But all of them are quite strong players, of course. I think Korbel is, by and large, the best player on the team by a substantial margin. Yeah, Levine will be feeling great, especially given this comeback. They had 51 imps that they picked up in segment, well, 7 out of 8 or 9 out of 10, depending on how we're counting. So I think they're quite strong. There are no real bad teams here. I mean, I would say the Goose squad is considerably outmatched against their opponent. Just man for man, I think basically everyone on the Nickel team is a substantially stronger player than the Goose squad if you line them up. But again, you know, that's why they're up 200. Leibowitz and Simpson, I mean, Simpson is four-handed. That's going to be tough to make a run through the whole event, even if they come back against Leibowitz today. And Leibowitz has a lot of strong players. And while I would say Zach Grossack has the ability to generate like plus 100 imp cards if he's having a good set, he also has the ability to lose like 150 imps in a segment if he's having a bad set. He's kind of a wild card, which maybe you want a player like that on your team. I'm always uncomfortable playing on teams like that. I would prefer to be the one swinging and I guess this is why you can't have 2 operators playing together. Like Zach and I could never play bridge. Owen Lean and I could never play bridge. Who are some other operators that play in some of these events? So, but anyway, Leibowitz looks like they're in firm control of their match. And I would say Rosenthal has a bunch of good pairs. One of the main concerns, I think, in general for the Rosenthal squad is that their sponsor doesn't play as well as some of the other sponsors in these events. And so they could end up just losing 100 imps in a set if they have, you know, a bad seating arrangement where the sponsor ends up sitting against a very, very strong pro pair. So yeah, I guess I would say Nickel or Levine would probably be my 2 picks for who might come ahead and win this whole thing. Let's see if we have started up. Ah, perfect. I've rambled on for long enough that we have 30 seconds left in the break. So we got, whoa. Okay, I'm gonna go to the other table, but this is surprising and maybe a little unfortunate for Levine that Levine and Eddie Wold have to sit in and play this segment. Maybe this match isn't going to be as close as I had imagined. So Fleisher does have their A squad in. We got Brad Moss and Joe Grue at this table sitting against Daniel Korbel and Roger Lee. Two very strong partnerships, so this will be a lot of fun to watch. And we're right into the first board. Yeah, Zia might have a field day. Same with Jeff. I mean, Mech is kind of well known for just eating sponsors alive. I know I was terrified. I played against him and Rodwell often with my sponsors, and we would just bring back like lose 50 cards at our table because we were like defending 4 spades. They're down 2 off the top, and we took 2 of our defensive tricks. So this could be a comeback for Fleischer, but we'll see. It's still 14 imps. They got 15 boards to play. Starting out with a bit of excitement out of the gate. Daniel picking off the opponent's 5-3 heart fit to start things off. So a heart check, a spade by West. Very automatic 1 spade bid for, I think, any players. You know, you're taught to respond with 6 high card points, and West doesn't have that. But a heart pass a spade, double by North, by Brad. Take out a spades. He's still thinking that hearts might be a sensible landing spot for their side. Yeah, I mean, Brad's kind of right. Like, doubling's a little scary, but what else do? You have a 15 count. You could have a game. The opponents might easily be stealing from you. I would be scared of passing. But North-South have landed in 2 diamonds. Not the prettiest of contracts, but it looks like it's probably gonna... I can't tell. This has some play to make, especially after the Jack of Diamonds lead. It looks like Declare is going to come to 4 trump tricks, a club, a heart, and the King of Spades. That's 7. Seems unlikely you'll have a game with Ace Queen 8 5th under the hearts. Going low when not vulnerable is better. I would say definitely a reasonable position to take, but I would just be scared of missing 3-0. It might depend on my opponent's styles. Like, if West can have a 0 count for the 1 spade bid, which some of the players in this event can, and I know Korbel doesn't like that style, where his partner responds on a 0 count, but I think Roger Lee is all for it. So it might just depend on what everyone thinks West 1 spade bid could have. But you're right. I mean, it's not as if you're setting up North's heart suit, but you may be setting up South's 5-card minor in no trump. And the fact that East could have all of the defensive assets, might make it a little harder defensively for them to collect all of their tricks. But I could see passing. I guess we'll know when we get a result from the other table what they ended up doing. I'm having a hard time coming up with a 8th trick for Declare, because we've now scored the Ace of Hearts, we can play a club to the King, and we can take multiple diamond, or we can basically like take a diamond finesse and then exit to the opponents and wait for our diamond tricks. Or ruff a spade and do the same thing, like ruff a spade with the 7 of diamonds if you're concerned that East might have led from like Jack 9 doubleton, or even Queen Jack doubleton. but that's only 7 tricks. And if we ever find a way to rough a harden the dummy, West can just over-rough and start pulling trumps for us. So it feels like down 1 is the expected result. I mean, not a terrible score on this board. Looks like no one was making much of anything. I am going to take a quick peek to see if the other stream is up and running. They are. And they're still in the other match. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So we get to check out Fleisher Levine. Brad is thinking, just a quick question for people watching, if anyone cares. Would people prefer if I pulled up a split view and showed both tables? Or do people prefer just following the action at one table? I've never actually done commentary with the split view before, but it might be an interesting thing to try. I guess I could set up a poll so that people don't have to chat if they don't want. Let's see. Poll. New poll. I will have that up and running. Great. Now people can vote and let me know. I'm happy to do either. Brad has finally come up with a line of play. So club to the king. We'll see if he just... Okay, he leads a low club. This makes some sense. Maybe he's hoping for ace doubleton of clubs. I mean, he's obviously hoping for ace doubleton of clubs. I'm a little surprised he didn't either try and pull a second round of trumps or rough a spade before doing this. I guess his theory is that, you know, the opponents are going to give him a spade rough anyway, so why do it? Korbel continues diamonds. I mean, maybe no surprise here. He technically doesn't know what's going on in the spade suit, but I think you have to. Your partner showed out in hearts. You got club count from your partner on the first round of the suit. I mean, and additionally, you know, declarer doesn't have the jack of clubs. Well, down 1. Still don't know what's happening in the other table. I wonder if Roger's thinking about being clever and roughing this trick to exit a diamond. Let Dan take the last 2 tricks with his 2 hearts, but no, he pitches the jack of clubs. Makes some sense. And 7 tricks. Not going to be a large swing either way, but it did look as if East-West might have gotten in trouble if they were left to their own devices. They could end up in 2 spades. I wouldn't be that surprised if the auction had gone a heart, a spade, and had North not bid. East raises to 2 spades, despite only holding 3-card support. Whoa, that's a lot of aces and kings over there in West's hand. So we should see some sort of spade bid from South. Joe and Brad going to be playing 2/1 in this spot when the opponents are not vulnerable. 2 spades was the choice. And what do we do as West? We have 20 highs. Double feels right to me. That was Roger's choice. I think the auction that I'm most scared about when I double here is it goes 2 spades, double, 4 spades. And just given the vulnerability, that seems far less likely to happen in this case. Because if it goes 2 spades, double, 4 spades, pass, pass, like, we're kind of stuck. If we double again, partner's obviously going to pull, and we might be going down. If we pass, we could be missing a game. But this seems like a reasonable attempt. We start with double, planning on bidding no trump. Our hand's a little too good for a 2-no overcall. East bids Lebensaal, and West says, no thank you. I have a lot of stuff. I'm not accepting your sign-off. So 3-no trump it is. Joe in the South has been paying close attention to robot opening lead style and elects to lead his Doubleton heart. Now, I think realistically he expects on auctions like this that West has spades fairly well locked up, and therefore trying to attack his own spade suit is unlikely to be the winning defense. So he goes after heart lead. That is going to give Declarer. Yeah, the Queen of Spades lead could have worked out. I know in the past, so I think if Joe had a hand like, this is wonderful. The poll has resulted in a 50-50 split, if you will, for doing split table coverage or one table coverage. Feel free to voice opinions if you have strong ones in the chat. But yeah, this exact spade holding, because a very common layout is that either one player has King Doubleton or another player has Jack Doubleton, and you don't know until you make the opening lead. Show 1.5 tables. We could do that. I could put up like a little border, so it's as if you're like single dummy at one table and double dummy at the other. Thoughts on that? I'm probably not going to do that, but that would be funny. Yeah, what was I saying? So I was going to say, I think if Joe had an outside entry, he might have led the ace of spades. If he was looking at like ace, queen, 10, 6 of spades and the ace of diamonds, granted, that's probably not a 2 spade opener, that's probably a 1 spade opener. But if he had a hand like that, he could lead the spade ace, and then when he sees king third and dummy, he could continue the queen. And if instead he saw king Doubleton and dummy, he could continue low. So, but yeah, Brad kind of makes this point that the Queen of Spades lead would have worked out quite nicely on this layout. Sets up the spade suit. Well, kind of sets up the spade suit. I mean, you get an extra spade trick in immediately. The defense is going to have to duck. So 8 of hearts, Declare wins the ace. A good play. You know, some people might lazily just take the heart finesse, but obviously East just doesn't have any entries. So it's much more effective to win the ace, keep the heart suit unblocked. Later you can play heart to the 10. I mean, you know what's going on in the hearts, right? When South leads a high heart. 2 rounds of diamonds. It's interesting that Declare played 2 rounds of diamonds here. This feels like, I mean, in this specific instance, North could have hopped up with the Diamond King and then played spades, preserving South's diamond entry. I wonder if the reason for that has something to do with some sort of a Smith signal that South was going to be required to give at trick 2, so that North couldn't get true diamond count, and and then wouldn't therefore know to hop up with the Diamond King. Okay, so Declare is now several tricks in, has established the diamond suit. South's spades are completely cut off. South having Queen Doubleton of Diamonds is very likely. It could be. Yeah, I mean, that's also a consideration, right? Like, West started with 3 small diamonds. East could have easily had Jack 5th instead of Jack 4th. And then North doesn't want to pop up with the Diamond King to squash their partner's honor. Defense is really hard if you can't see all 4 hands. You're right, Will. That is something to think about. But how many tricks does Declare establish? So he has a 4th round of diamonds. He's going to take the heart hook, and he can lead a spade to the king. So he's got 3 tricks, a 4th trick in diamonds, 2 more in hearts is 6. He has the ace of clubs is 7, the king of spades is 8. But he has to know that the king of clubs is offside at this point. South, having turned up with the queen of diamonds, and presumably the ace-queen of spades, I'm pretty sure he knows where the king of clubs is. But what can you do about it? It seems like there's no real winning plan here. I feel as if Declare had to keep 3 spades in dummy if he wanted any chance of making against some layout of the cards. You would need a spade exit. Because now, like, 9 of diamonds lead a spade, he knows South can just win the spade ace and lock him in dummy. Maybe South can have Jack Doubleton of clubs. So, like, if we go 9 of diamonds, pitching a club, lead a spade, well, if South has Jack Doubleton of clubs, he can just duck when you lead a spade, right? Yeah, there's not much Declare can do. I don't believe there's any layout where we can make the contract from here, other than South holding the club king. But that seems essentially impossible. 3-note down 1 in the other room. And, oh, we do have a result from the first board. Whoa, not even cashing the 9 of diamonds. I'm a little concerned about this line of play because even if South had Jack Doubleton clubs here, it doesn't really work out for Declare. North could just duck the club king, preventing this club entry. Anyway, whatever. We're there. 3-no trump down 1, push board. Fleisher has picked up a couple. I believe that would have been on board 1. I will quickly look at the scorecard. Okay, so 2 spades in the east. Kind of what I had mentioned, although it's strange that East ended up declaring it. But they found their 5-3 spade fit somehow. Board 48. We had a club opener by West, a spade by North, and 2 clubs by East. Pretty normal so far. East doesn't really have anything else to do with only 3 hearts. 2 spades by South, I think a lot of the north-south bidding on this one is conditional on them being not vulnerable. Because North's one spade overcall, while it might barely be there if we were red, I think Brad would think twice about overcalling a spade vulnerable and queen empty fifth. No aces. And similarly for South, you know, some generic 6 count with 3 small trumps, maybe if we were vulnerable, he wouldn't even raise to 2 spades. But this has given West a bit of a problem, because he has a big hand, but no clear direction as to what to do. And he also knows the opponents have a 9-card heart fit, at least a 9-card heart fit. His partner failed to make a negative double. So he's probably not thinking about 3 no trump as a potential contract. I mean, he could be thinking about 6 clubs as being a legitimate spot to play. So that's why he bids 3 spades, pretty reasonable. If you don't know what to do, but you think you're game forcing, then just Q-bid the opponent's suit. That's kind of what it says. It's like, I don't know what's going on, please help. But I think a main point about this 3 spade bid is Roger knows his partner can't possibly bid 3 no trump. So he needed to already have made up his mind that 3 no trump was not going to be their final resting spot before he bid 3 spades. And so I think it's well reasoned. Yeah, 4 spades from Korbel is a big bid. It's you know, I think one of the main reasons why this 3 spade bid would be made is if West doesn't have a spade stopper. And so from Dan's perspective over here, the ace-king of hearts have grown into really, really valuable cards. The singleton spade is obviously great, and he's kind of just a complete maximum for his auction thus far. You know, only 4 small clubs, he would prefer to have a 5th trump, but 4 spades got them into the right spot. Diamond loser goes away on the heart king, and Declarer has enough trump intermediates that he can rough 2 rounds of spades with like the 10 and 8 of clubs. He would have preferred if clubs were 2-1, then he wouldn't need to waste any extra energy on this. But he's quite happy to just rough once with the 8 of clubs, cross to the diamond ace, rough again with the 10 of clubs, and then pull trumps. Knowing that South has the club ace, so there's no way that they can get a club rough here, or spade rough. 12 tricks, good result for East-West. I would say it should be duplicated in the other room, but I could see people missing it. I don't think they would miss it and get to 3 no trump. That would not be the contract, but they might only reach 5 clubs. The ace-king of hearts opposite the singleton so that you can pitch the diamond loser was kind of the key to the hand. 1 no in the north. And what is this? North has 15. It is 14 to 16. They're playing 2/1. The opponent's not vulnerable here. So it looks like they still are planning to open most 11s, or all 11s if they're playing a 14 to 16 no trump. South has made an interesting choice of just passing 1 no. You could easily imagine Levine scored a goal at the other table. Okay, I'm convinced. Here we go. Let's figure out how to do. Wait, how do I put it so that there's only two things? Can I do it so that there's only 2 things? Oh no. This is the worst experience. Is there a way to get rid of this? Zoom. We're not doing this. This is not happening. I'm having some technical difficulties. Match view. What is match view? Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh my god, what am I doing? This is this is going so badly. Okay, match view. Hold on, hold on. Let me just navigate back to the start of this. Result, match view. Aha! Aha. Okay, I might need to move me. Let's put me up here. Is this going to cover up the auction? Maybe a little bit. And where can you guys go? You guys are going to go... let's put you down here, bottom right. I don't know. We'll see how that works. All right, Brad. What did I miss? I missed. Oh my God! It's 25 imps. So we can't. Okay, we got the inside scoop from Brad. 1 club, 1 spade, 2 clubs, 2 spades, 3 spades, 4 spades by North. Yeah, big bid. Who made that bid? It was Mike Levine. So the club void pushed him into it. I was saying that Joe and Brad in this room did very well to bid 1 spade, 2 spades on their cards, put some pressure on. But Mike had a bit of a different view of the hand and blasted 4 spades with his club void. East-West got to 5 clubs and missed the slam. Wow. So Levine has opened up a bit of a lead. There's still plenty of time to get back into the... or to pick up some imps, but they have a lot of work to do. See some different contracts in both rooms on this board. So the one we were following, Brad Moss opened a no trump in the North, pass 2 diamonds and a major. And after a little bit of competition, North-South found their club fit. We got to the 4 level, but no higher. The bad club split is going to give them some problems. Although, it's not as if North-South in the other room have done all that much better. They've ended up in 2 no-trump where the opponents have 10 diamonds between them. So... it looks to me like 2 no trump is going to sail down some number of tricks. I can't figure it out because Declarer is going to get a little bit squeezed in both hands on the run of diamonds. He can't afford to come down to his tip hard in either hand. And with the club suit not coming home, Declarer could be in a lot of trouble. In 4 clubs, I think North-South are going to be a little more happy, although it appears that contract still has some issues. Given the Queen of Clubs' 3rd offside. It's hard to, I mean, I could jump back and forth. Like, there are a lot of things I'm noticing on one table and not the other. Like, the way East-West defended against 2 no-trump in the, how do I put this, the open room. Why is the open room on the right? Shouldn't the open room be on the left? No? But just the way that Jeff specifically played the diamond suit, Zia was able to read correctly that he should cash the jack of diamonds next. Playing his partner for 10-9 fifth or something like that. Meanwhile, Brad Moss in 4 clubs in the other room has navigated a heart end play to go down 1 in his contract. I don't know how happy he will be with that result. You know, the fact that the opponents got to 3 diamonds is maybe a little disappointing for North-South. He was hopeful that they could have stolen the auction in a no-trump. But I think he's going to be pleased to find out that that Tuno in the other room is not going to fare too well. Board 50. Quite a hand by North. You're right. You're right. That's an 8-card suit. Those things are exceedingly rare. I know, this was probably like 10 years ago now, someone did a statistical analysis of how often really, really long suits came up. So like how often are you dealt an 8-card suit, a 9-card suit, a 10-card suit, an 11-card suit? There were 2 8-card suits in the North last night at the club game. Wow. They sometimes come in pairs. You know, the random computer dealing, I feel, often has some sort of joke that it plays on the field where it's just like, I am going to trick everyone and pretend like this is a randomized set of boards, but really, I'm just going to goulash everything. So 3 diamonds in the North in the closed room, which is on the left. Left? Oh, I'm inverted. Look at that. Yeah, left is that way. I would say a bit of a normal-ish type auction. East no trump opener, North wouldn't balance 3 diamonds unless they had a good hand, so this basically shows a decent hand with a real diamond suit. Joe Grue in the South has nothing in terms of high cards. And so passes 3 diamonds. I am a little surprised by Dan's decision to win the Ace of Hearts here. That feels like a really strange choice. Like, it's not going to matter if he works out to cash the spade ace and then exit a trump. Like, double dummy, that is the only way to hold declare to 8 tricks from here. But I don't really understand the rush in winning the Ace of Hearts here. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Okay, he just does not have the right view of what North's hand looks like. Heart return, West does get to win the king, and he's probably going to try and give his partner a heart ruff. Did I miss-see what was going on? Oh, did Roger lead a heart? Oh. Maybe I must have missaw what was happening. Aha. That makes a bit more sense. Must have gone a club lead and then a heart switch. I thought Brad had just like led the Queen of Hearts out of hand, which I guess doesn't make any sense. He of course would have cashed the Ace King of Diamonds and then led a heart and hoped to end play the opponents, or led a spade, for example. Hope to end play the opponents. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Now I get it. Now I get it. 2 no trump did sail off a couple of tricks in the open room, which means a bit of a pickup for Fleisher. but not too large of one. Brad does have to guess the diamond suit, but I think he has enough information to do so at this point. Or at least he should have some sort of comfort in believing that East might have the diamond queen given the opening bid. And he gets it right. So 3-no bid and made, or 3 diamonds bid and made. This could still be a large swing. We'll pay careful attention to what's going on in the other room. I'm gonna briefly check out the closed room here. Brad and Joe have a pretty large heart fit. But it seems as if... Oh, you know what? It seems as if the only lead to beat 4 hearts from the north is... Oh, I guess there's multiple ways to do it. You could get a club rough. But I was thinking it would be funny if the only way to defeat 4 hearts in the north was to put a trump through so that you could get a diamond back to set up the king. Okay, lots of action going on in the open room. Mike Levine elects to not mess around after his partner's 1 spade overcall vulnerable and just tries 3-no. He has what appears to be an 8-card suit that should be taking 8 tricks and hopes that his partner can provide a 9th. What is West going to do over 3-no trump? I mean, East-West are favorable. It might well be the case that Jeff thinks 3-no is probably making and tries to pull to something, but I mean, what, like 4 clubs? That can't be what's going on. He must be considering doubling. He does, he doubles. That could be enough to throw Declare off. I mean, we know that the diamonds are splitting 2-2, and Declare can just cash the ace-king of diamonds and run the suit. Eventually, he's either going to get a spade, a club, or a heart. But it's possible that if they... I don't know, somehow, like, give dummy an entry. I don't know exactly what that would look like. Like ace of spades, spade or something. Then, oh, never mind. We're not going to see it. I was thinking that Declarer might play West for the diamond queen, given this double. But West pulls to 4 diamonds, or runs to 4 diamonds. Or not West, North runs to 4 diamonds. Is West going to double again? He doesn't. He feels like he's done enough pushing them out of 3-no. And even with some missed defense, like we saw in the other room, or unlucky defense, however you want to look at it, 4 diamonds is not going to make. So this will be a swing. Yeah, Declare might not have had an entry, given the lack of an entry to the south hand, but I was curious because normally this double by Mech might indicate that he has strong spades. So I was wondering if East might just like lead ace of spades and a spade. Give the king of spades an entry. Establish the 5th defensive trick for starters. And then... you know, 5th defensive trick if the diamond queen takes a trick. And then Declarer might take a diamond hook. I'm not sure. But you were right. Declare might have been forced to make 3 now. Wow, everyone's finding the same defense, or the same kind of losing defense of heart to the ace, 10 of hearts back. I guess it's not that surprising. It's really difficult to believe that you should be cashing the ace of spades specifically to strip North Singleton and then exiting a trump away from Queen Doubleton. Okay, board 51 blew by in the other room. I did see the final result. 4 hearts went down 1. I wasn't paying careful attention to the defense, but I think the simplest defense to defeat the contract would have been ace and another club from East, and that kind of defense I think makes a ton of sense from the hand that he held. So we'll let 4 diamonds be for the meantime. Looks as if Declare is going to end up with 9 tricks and a small swing to Fleisher, who's pulling back into the match. Joe Grue opens a no trump in 4th seat. 2 hearts from North, transfer to spades. 2 spades from South. My guess is this ends the auction. I don't see East or West coming in. 1 no not alerted by South. They are playing precision here though. So this should be another 14 to 16 no trump. We get a club lead. That's going to look very friendly to Declare. So after the club lead, I wonder if it goes to the Jack or King. It goes to the Jack. Normally a pretty standard play to make. You suspect your partner's unlikely to underlead aces, but they might underlead a king or a queen. So putting the Jack is a bit of a discovery play for the defense. But I could see East here playing the king of clubs as well, mostly to try and throw Declare off about what's going on in the club suit. And Declare seems to have taken, I guess you could call it some sort of percentage play in the spade suit, hoping to lose only 3 spade tricks if West has honor doubleton. So Jack, I mean specifically Jack doubleton or 10 doubleton. So low to the 9, he plans to play a low spade, cover the honor with the queen, eventually get back to dummy with, say, the diamond ace, knock out the last spade, and pull trumps. But he's not going to be so lucky this time. Still, I think with 4 spade losers and 1 heart loser, he can make the contract if he rejects the second heart finesse. And that might be indicated based on the defense so far. Like the 9 of hearts switch from East, presumably not a particularly good heart holding, and West winning the Jack. I mean, it's looking as if playing on clubs makes sense, and he goes for it. He goes for a 3rd round of clubs. Roughs a diamond. Plays a heart to the ace. That felt like a bit of an unnecessary plan, but it's going to work out just fine. So 2 spades bid and made. And what's happening in the other room? This hand that we saw Joe and Brad play 4 hearts, which I wasn't paying any attention to whatsoever, but apparently went 1 down. We get a heart by North, passed hand 1 spade bid by South, 2 hearts only by North, and South is going to have to find a call. Oh, he doesn't. Wow. So this will be a pickup for Levine here. They miss out on on the game, but it did go down in the other room. And I kind of expected that it should go down here as well. I don't think game's that bad of a spot. The defense can very likely get a club rough against any layout, but they still have to find it. So spade to the ace and queen, diamond through. Oh, it's that. I think I had mentioned that maybe East needed to get partner in with a trump to play a diamond through, but I'm just now realizing that the lack of aces from Declare has made dummy unreachable to get to the king of spades pitching the queen of diamonds. I see. So spade lead is equally good. Kind of interesting to note that Zia elected to lead a low spade rather than the jack from his jack-10 combination. My guess is he believed that count was more important than showing his spade honors. But with two hearts comfortably making, it looks like with an over trick, Levine is going to have a small pickup on that board. And we're right back into the action. Board 53, East-West have bid to 3 no trump. And North-South appear to have found the right plan on defense of setting up the diamond suit. Declare is not going to be too upset about his contract. I mean, he will pitch a heart, presumably, on this jack of diamonds and then take the club finesse. But that's not going to work. Joe should be able to... I mean, I was going to say Joe should be able to give a suit preference signal. I was thinking the 5 of clubs as suit preference for spades, but clearly looking at... Oh, West is dummy. Ah, okay. So Brad does need to read that a spade switch is necessary here. But I think he'll work it out. That 5-2 of clubs. My belief is that you try and signal your partner what they need to know, at least if you're in a strong partnership. And here, North very clearly needs to know suit preference about whether to put partner in with hearts or spades. Uh-oh. Tough hand, for sure. I mean, remember, East's hand was covered. So Brad's not looking at the ace, king, queen of hearts. He's looking at this jack-10 doubleton and jack-9 third. I think there's probably something to be said for Declare pitching down to a doubleton heart and 3 spades, rather than pitching down to a doubleton spade and 3 hearts. Like, the reason Declare kept that jack third of spades is that he didn't want the entire spade suit to run against him. And so there's some small inference to be gained from that. But 3-no bid and made when otherwise it probably shouldn't have. Good result for Levine. It might be a push, but we don't expect them to lose very many imps on that board, so they're still maintaining quite a healthy 22 imp lead. I suspect we're going to see the same 2 spade contract in this room as we do in the other. And we have a couple of tamer boards back to back. 3 passes to Brad. He opens a no trump in 4th seat, which they play 15 to 17. Now, because they're playing precision on this hand, the opponents are vulnerable, we'll note. So that's why they're playing precision. In 4th seat, they just increase their no trump range. Makes a lot of sense. Partner can't have these like 11 counts they would have opened in 2nd seat. And against 1 no, we see Dan leads the ace of spades. He gets what I have to imagine was an encouraging signal from partner, but elects to switch to clubs anyway. Club to the jack and ace. Declare presumably will take a diamond finesse. You know, maybe before on Jack of Spades. Okay, hold on. Hold on just a second. Why did we continue the Jack of Spades? Yeah, you're gonna have to bear with me on this one. There are layouts where the Jack of Spades could be right. I mean, even double dummy. And single dummy, there's some merit. Like, especially if Declare thinks spades could be 5-2, he might want to cut defender's communication in the suit, or in some cases, just like force them to cash some tricks so that he has an easier time squeezing the opponents. I don't really get it on this deal, though. Because now we're kind of giving up on playing for 3-3 diamonds. I suppose he always had 7 tricks. Maybe his plan was to just never take the diamond finesse. That seems very odd to me, though. Like, I would have just taken the diamond hook. I mean, it's not like spades are 6-1, right? So, like, if you lose the diamond finesse, they can't just run 5 spade tricks against you. But even if they could, you still have 7 tricks. I don't know. Something about this is very strange. Now a heart switch from Dan would more or less force Declare to just cash out. But we get a club continuation. I mean, not that surprising. It looks like Dan has been on this thought process of, well, if we're not getting extra club tricks, we're not beating this. And he's right. So Declare does get to take his diamond hook after all. Diamond to the jack. It loses, but he will claim the rest. No beer. The 8 of diamonds will win the last trick. But plus 120. I'm still a little confused about this spade play at trick 3. But no harm. It was only really a matter of over tricks at that point. 2 spades is underway. And it looks like Zia has been doing some Zia stuff over here. I have to imagine, it looks like Declare took kind of the same plan in the spade suit as they did at Joe Grue's table when he was playing it, of low spade to an intermediate spot. East got in, but East ended up switching to the king of clubs from king jack third. Oh, and that put Jeff into the thought that Zia actually wanted him to continue clubs. This is not going to work out. I'm not certain that's what happened. Don't quote me. But it looks as if that's what was going on. So, Declare hasn't made it yet. East wins the spade and does get to put another heart on the table. But Declare does correctly win the ace of hearts. Oh, Jeff pitched a club, which made it very easy. I see. Because Declare might have thought that the jack of clubs was offside and his best shot was to take the heart finesse. Again, I wasn't really following the play too closely at that table. But 2 spades been made, a push. We'll see what happens on the next board in this room, because that's the one where 3 no trump was been made, I think. Or how many boards back are they? They're on 52. Yeah, this is the one 3 no trump was been made, so this could be a big swing if north-south get the defense right against 3 no. We also don't know if East-West will bid it. It's not as if they have great values for game. It's 13 opposite 11 with a stiff king. While they get into that one, let's take a quick look at the closed room here. 1 diamond opener, 1 spade by North, and no trump, takeout double, 2 diamonds by North, looks like it was just competing, another double by West, showing some extra values, but this double kind of, the way the auction is timed out, West seems to have diamond length. Otherwise, why wouldn't West just make a takeout double of a diamond? Or maybe West just has like the round suits. I suppose that's also possible. East bids 3 clubs, North competes to 3 diamonds, and that's where they land. Looks like if Declare takes the diamond hook, which he's thinking about, he will have his 9 tricks. He does not, and so he ends up going down 1. 8 tricks. Wasn't carefully following the play to know if Joe should have been taking this diamond finesse, but I trust Joe's reads. He's pretty good at understanding, subtleties in the opponent's carding and whatnot, so he probably had a good reason to believe that West was more likely to have Queen Doubleton of diamonds than Small Doubleton. Could have been based on the auction as well. But that could be a small swing for Levine once again. So 3-0 bid at this table. Declare on the surface appears to have 8 tricks once the club hook loses. And then should be able to set up... Oh, I was going to say should be able to set up a 9th trick, but the defense can get 5 before that happens. And it's a little sad that it kind of looks like the defense is going to have an easier time collecting their 5 tricks on the way the hand has played out here than they did at the other table. Because now North can basically just return the heart suit if he wants, play passively, and South is eventually going to get the ace-king of spades and put a diamond through to collect the ace-queen. So it seems as if there's going to be another large swing to Levine, who is pulling away with the match at this point. Quick action from the closed room here. They bid to 3 hearts. West opened a heart with his 12 count, club void, a no trump semi-forcing, 2 club overcall by South, 2 diamonds by West, no interest in going after a penalty of 2 clubs with his void, obviously. East bids 3 hearts, 3 card limit raise, all pass. That's surprising to me, that West with a void in the opponent's suit didn't accept the 3 card limit raise. That's very shocking. I mean, it also looks as if 4 hearts is completely cold. What is Declare going to take 11 tricks? I think so. He will either lose the ability to ruff a spade or he will lose a trump trick. He can take another heart finesse. Pitch a spade loser on the club king. So, I mean, it's not like the ace of clubs lead necessarily hurt the defense too much. It cost them an over trick on this board. But Declare was always going to be able to come to at least 5 hearts, 2 spades, and 3 diamonds. And I think might have easily come to 11 tricks regardless. Maybe he can ruff 2 spades in the dummy. Wow. That's a little surprising to me. I don't know if Roger was just like trying to swing the board, which feels like a weird decision given that their side had just made an unmakeable 3-0 on one of the previous hands, and they came in with a lead to the segment. But oh boy, the action doesn't stop. We have a slam alert for East-West. 6 hearts in the West is just completely cold. The King of Spades is protected from the opening lead. And you have 2 discards, 4th round of clubs and the King of Diamonds. Will they get there? Ooh. So Joe Grue in 3rd seat, kind of realizing that his partner, white on red, wasn't able to find an opening bid, elects to make a preempt. And they're, oh my god. This could result in a pretty sizable swing. Okay. So 3 diamonds by South. I was going to say notably. Whoa! Both tables made 3-0. How did this happen? I wasn't even watching. I just assumed 3-0 was going to go down. I mean, North took the Club King, has 2 diamond tricks, and South has 2 spade tricks. Whichever suit Declare tried to set up. Yikes. That's a big result, though, for Fleisher. They needed it to stay in the match. Only a few boards to go, and if they had given up the game swing there, they would have been in huge trouble. But let's get back to the decision on board 57. So it went 3 diamonds by South. I was going to say, since Joe and Brad are playing precision in this instance, Joe does not have a natural 2 diamond opener. So he opens 3 diamonds. I mean, he might have opened 3 diamonds regardless of whether or not 2 diamonds was available, but that is noteworthy. Take out double, 5 diamonds by North, big bid. Brad kind of understands that he doesn't want to defend 4 of a major, so he's going to put the maximum pressure on the opponents by just jumping to the contract that he planned to save in already. 5 diamonds. East has a tough choice over 5 diamonds. I mean, he knows that it's their hand at this point, given the preempt and the big raise. But King Doubleton of diamonds doesn't look great. He elects to pass. Roger, tough choice. He balances 5 hearts. And East, again, probably thinking King Doubleton of diamonds is not a particularly good holding, elects to check out 5 hearts. So that could be a huge swing. It is what Fleischer needs to get back into the match. Other table gets to the same 1 no trump contract on board 54. Pass, 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 and no trump, all pass. We see the same type spade lead. I wonder if Zia will come to the same conclusion that Dan did in the other room, that without being able to set up clubs, there's no chance of beating this contract. I'm not certain that's true, but maybe that's just the best chance for the defense. It does seem rational to try and set up your long suits, as opposed to set up suits that you might not be long in. So Zia does switch to clubs, kind of similar to what happened in the other room. A very reasonable thing to do. Declare will take the club finesse, and then please, please, please don't lead the Jack of Spades at trick 3. It's gonna just completely destroy my brain if you do that. I don't think there's any chance we see this Declare continue spade at trick 3. I think unblock the Queen of Clubs makes some sense. Diamond to the King, diamond finesse. See where you stand after the opponents run the spade suit. So that's what we got going on. Club to the Queen. Diamond to the King, diamond to the Jack. The 10-9 come down. So the fourth round of diamonds just naturally gets set up, and we will see the same 8 tricks for declare in this room. So push board there. What's happening on board 58? We got a spade opener by East, a first seat, but notice he just has a 10 count. It's because this hand just isn't a 2 spade bid. Your hand doesn't really qualify. South makes a takeout double. Pretty normal, I would say. I mean, it's a 21 count. Some people might think, oh, well, I have a 5-card heart suit. Why shouldn't I just be overcalling it? And your heart suit is quite poor. But I think additionally, more just the fact that you have so many values, you gotta show your values, and the takeout double does that. So spade double, pass, North elects to bid 2 clubs. A bit of a heavy 2-club bid. But with all of your secondary values and spades, the opponent's suit, I can understand being a little conservative. So 2 spades by South, 2 no by North, showing his stopper, 3 hearts by South. North-South are already in a game force. And then North bids 3 no. Lapras has pointed out that the club suit is blocked. You're absolutely right about that. Huh. What does declare do? I wasn't even thinking about that, but that is a very reasonable thought. I wonder if North should have been concerned about that. Because 5 clubs appears to be an excellent spot. I mean, 6 clubs looks like an excellent spot. Hey, what's up, KK? How's it going? Welcome in. Doesn't it, I mean, is 6 clubs cold? It's pretty close, right? Like, if they don't take the ace of hearts, then we can pitch our heart loser and just cross rough. And if they do take the ace of hearts, I don't know. This could be a large swing. Unfortunately, to the team that's already in the lead, I would say. Oh, so the other room actually managed to take only 7 tricks and a no trump. I mean, no harm. You're just playing imps. It's 1 over trick. But still, 1 imp going to Fleisher, which can matter in some of these matches. So we duck the ace of spades, right? Or we ducked a spade. Oh, okay. This is very clever by Brad. He's cashed 2 rounds of clubs, and he's hoping that the opponents are going to play another spade, letting him pitch the blocking club from dummy. This is a really nice play. I don't know if it's going to work, but you got to credit the guy for trying. So he does this. He's now exiting off dummy, and just hoping. I mean, I think he's really hoping that West has something like Queen Jack of Hearts, sticks in a heart on her, it holds, and then West elects to continue the spade suit, right? The fact that he cashed 2 clubs and both opponents followed, they don't know that North has a running 6-card club suit over here. He might just have some more generic balanced hand type with like 4 clubs. So we'll see if this works. I mean, East-West can definitely do the right thing. If they work it out. I mean, I'm certain if Dan gets in on this trick, like if the 9 of hearts runs around to the jack, I'm pretty confident Dan is just going to do something like either play ace of hearts and a heart or continue a diamond. He's not going to give declare the opportunity to unblock that queen of clubs. He should have a pretty good idea about what's going on. But Roger could be considering hopping up with the heart queen to play a spade through. Maybe a little bit worried that Brad could have something like Jack Doubleton of hearts and Declare is just setting up this heart suit and dummy. This is a really strong play by Brad Moss in an otherwise hopeless contract. There it is. There's the Queen of Hearts. Okay, Dan, I was going to say it would be amazing, and there it is. 9 of spades comes through. Well played. So now Declare does get to cash 4 more clubs and the king, queen of diamonds. He's going to end up making 10 tricks. Still could be quite a large swing, depending on what happens auction-wise at the other table. I'm wondering, I mean, if Dan knew what was going on the hand, he could have elected to overtake partner's Queen of Hearts. I mean, it looks really dumb and stupid to do that, but maybe he could have done that. Win the Ace of Hearts, play back a diamond, eventually get in with the Jack of Hearts. Maybe it's not so automatic, but it looks like East-West could still defeat the contract from there. Anyway, that will be an exciting board to watch out for in the other room. Board 55. So this table with Joe, Brad, Dan, and Roger is playing much faster than they are in the open room. We see Joe opening a precision style. Not a precision style. Just a natural, wait, hold on. I'm pretty sure they play 2/1 when the opponents are not vulnerable, but maybe I'm out of the loop. They could be doing something different. Anyway, so South opens a diamond, apparently showing 2+. Spade by West, pass by North. No real surprise that North doesn't want to get involved. Like, at match points, I would be terrified of passing North's hand. At teams, there's no real reason. You just have a 6 count. If it's your hand and you can make a game, your partner will come back in and compete. But you don't want to get, like make a negative double or a bit of no trump and hear East redouble or double 1-0. And now you're minus 500 against the opponent's part score. So West bids a spade, East bids a no trump, they play there. I wanted to take a look at 3 diamonds on board 55 because I remember Joe Grue played this and elected not to take the diamond finesse. And in this room, they do take the diamond finesse. Is that enough to make the contract? Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the spade suit's running. So they're going to get 4 more spades and 2 more trumps on a cross-ref. They'll take 10 tricks. So this will be a sizable pickup for Levine. What is that, 230 and 7 imps? Or 6 imps? 7? I think it's 7. But 6 or 7 imps, 6 imps for Levine. So they are well in the lead, and it could all come down to, I guess, depending on what board 60 has to offer for us, it could all come down to a couple of these hands. I mean, for example, this one. I was shocked that Roger didn't accept a limit raise with the West cards, especially when South had overcalled 2 clubs. So we'll see if East-West do a little better on this hand. I would expect Mech to bid game if he hears any sort of noise from partner. It's just his style, and he does very well with it. So we'll see what East elects to do. A heart opening bid. A bit light for a 2/1, but we see 2 spades. I wonder if 2 spades is just their limit raise in hearts. So that's what happened. South passes. There's just zero chance that Mech doesn't bid 4 hearts, I think, with a void. There it is. So that's 4 hearts, and that will be a nice pickup for Fleisher. It's going to be 6 imps back their way. I guess conditional on how many tricks he ends up taking. But I believe it's all going to come down to that club slam, or potential club slam, where Brad Moss was in 3-0 and found a beautiful line to give the defenders a problem. Last board of the set. In this room, board 60, we had a heart opener, 2 hearts by East. Gotta imagine South comes in with 2 spades here. Okay, 3 spades. 3 spades is interesting. It's alerted as better than 2 spades. This is very natural to play things this way with the vulnerability as it is. South being vulnerable. You don't really want to have a 3-spade preempt in this auction. I think you just end up going for 500 far too often when the opponents don't even make game. So 3 spades should show some values. I mean, any vulnerable bid should show some values. But I'm not really sure why Joe chose that over 2 spades. I guess for them, maybe he's required partnership-wise to bid 3 with this hand. That 2 spades would be more like ace, king, jack, 5th, and a stiff heart and nothing else. It would just be like lead directional. And 3 spades is the way to show a hand with some game interest. But alright, so it goes a heart pass, 2 hearts, 3 spades, 3 no trump by West. Interesting choice. I wonder what he was planning on doing if 3 no got doubled. Because he's only looking at 7 tricks in his hand, 6 hearts, and the queen of spades as a stopper. But North elects to try for game. With an ace, Jack Doubleton in support, probably a worthwhile holding. The queen of diamonds could be a useful card, no wasted values in hearts. I think that's probably a very reasonable decision by Brad. And 4 spades goes pass back to West, who, I mean, passes it out, but he's probably a little sad about the way the auction's gone. He was hoping to have stolen the contract somewhere in either 3-0 or 4 hearts, and wasn't able to. He leads the king of hearts, and sadly that might have been his last chance on defense to beat this thing. I think a low heart to partner's jack and a diamond through would have been the only way to actually defeat the contract. It might not even be good enough, but that would at least give the defense some hope. Setting up a diamond trick, a heart trick. They have a club trick because Declare can't do anything about it. And then they have a natural trump trick. But this defense is not going to be quite good enough. I think Roger, 1 turn too late, finds the heart lead. His partner did dump the jack, so he knows that underleading hearts now is a viable choice. And the 6 of hearts return, presumably some sort of high spot looking for a diamond back. We do see in the open room that 4 hearts did make with 11 tricks, 6 imps to Fleisher. And, oh yeah, I forgot about this board. This is another potential big swing, right? Because 6 hearts is absolutely cold from the West. And in the closed room over here, Joe Grue and Brad Moss had bid up to 5 diamonds rather quickly, taking a lot of room away from the East-West pair, so they miss slam. This could be a large swing. I think Fleisher needs this. They need to reach 6 hearts if they want to get back into the match. pass, a diamond we see in this room. So Joe Grue on the same hand elected to preempt 3 diamonds, I think quite reasonably, at least system-wise. If he knows his partner can't have an opening bid, then I'm pretty sure he has some sense that the opponents are very likely to have a game somewhere. He doesn't know where, but the preempt will make it as difficult as possible for them to reach a game. So Eddie Wold, a bit of a different choice here, elects to open a diamond. This could also work out, but the way that I think most experts read these situations is that a 3rd seed opener isn't really treated as a real opening bid. Otherwise, West might believe that his partner's completely broke. You know, he's sitting on this monster 22 count over here. If South had a real opening bid with like 13, then he might be less inclined to try and look for a slam. But here, there's no way he's stopping short of keycard and hearts or something like that. So a diamond double pass, a heart. Note how it's, you know, essentially no one elected to preempt South's hand 2 diamonds. Maybe both pairs don't have a natural 2 diamond bid available. We know Joe and Brad don't. They're playing precision style. But it's possible that they also don't have 2 natural diamonds available here, and that's why Eddie Wold elected to open a diamond. So Jeff Meckstroth makes what might turn out to be an unfortunate choice, although a very sensible one, of splintering 4 diamonds. Zia is not going to believe the King of Diamonds is a good card. At least not on offense. So I wouldn't be surprised if he elected to double 5 diamonds here, kind of showing a really, really mediocre hand. I suspect 4 diamonds set up a forcing pass for north-south, or for east-west. Meanwhile, Joe Grue is pulling trumps and will now set up the club suit for for a diamond discard. So he's making 4 spades. Good result on the last board. Let's see if I can bring up okay, bear with me 1 second. Let's just do this, because this will be the fastest way that I can get over here. All right, let's move me back. I am now back in the bottom left. Let's move the chat back over here. Great. So we do see the double of 5 diamonds by Zia, and this auction might just be a little too difficult for East-West to work out. I think this double tends to show some wasted stuff in diamonds, which Mech might be kind of happy with. You know, if Zia does have the wasted King of Diamonds, it's at least a discard for a spade loser. He might still bid the... Whoa. Okay, he elects to pass 5 diamonds doubled. Alright. So how many tricks are East-West going to get on defense here? They get a heart, they get 2 clubs, they get a spade, and they get 2 diamonds. It sounds like it's going to be 500. This is not going to do it. I think Levine has managed to squeak through. Very difficult hand. East-West had a better opportunity in this auction than they did in the other room, I think. Obviously, you can just argue that, well, sometimes you just blast a slam and it luckily makes. That would have worked this time. But is there any rational way or sensible way to find out the information you need as West? I don't know. And this double of 5 diamonds was really, what did I say? You said 800. 1 spade, 1 heart, 2 diamonds, and 2 clubs. That is 800. You're right. You're right. Well, of course you're right. I'm never right when I count things, so it doesn't surprise me that someone else is. But yeah, 800. I mean, regardless, I think they really needed to reach the slam to have a chance of coming back in the match. We do still have that 3 no trump hand. I think it's the very next board where North-South can make 6 clubs. Brad Moss got to what many would consider a completely unmakeable 3-no and ended up scoring it up. So it could be a small swing to Fleisher if 3-no is also reached at this table. Finn made 3-no similarly. It's a really nice line of play. I think the defense has the opportunity to work out what's going on, but it is quite a clever plan to obviously duck the ace of spades at trick 1, but then only cash 2 rounds of clubs. Jeff thinks that he's just perpetually getting end played on this deal, so tries a spade away from the king. I mean, no real surprise there that but he should be able to and Zia helps him out. Zia overtakes the jack of clubs to put a spade through. Nice defense. Declare a will try and exit a diamond, I suppose. Hoping for a rough slough somehow, but that's not going to work out. So 500, 3 imps, or not 500, 800 and 3 imps to Fleisher, but they need a lot more than that. All right, here's an exciting one. I'm not sure how I would bid this hand. I mean, as either North or South. I think South's choices are kind of straightforward. You make a takeout double of spades, and then you Q-bid spades to show a good hand. North has the more difficult problem, and we see, I guess I would call this a more challenging choice of a 2-spade opening bid. Although maybe this tempos out a little better for North-South. Like South makes a takeout double, and North has Lebensal available, but North is not going to use Lebensal. North will bid 3 clubs to show a constructive hand with clubs. It'll then go 3 spades, North will bid 3 no trump, and South has a choice to make. I have to imagine this issue is very noticeable from South's perspective, right? North has a spade stopper and a club suit. It's very possible North doesn't have the jack of diamonds or a hard entry. So, I don't know. I mean, to me, it looks like suggesting 5 clubs as a potential spot might be sensible. But we'll see. So we do see 2 spades, double, 3 clubs, presumably a Lebensal type thing. Should see an alert on it, I guess, if they're being very formal about it. 3 spades by South. Double presumably suggests I don't want a spade lead in this auction. I think it's fairly common to play things this way, where if you really wanted your partner to just lead their suit, you can just pass throughout. There's no reason to give the opponents like extra bidding room where they can redouble to, show a partial stopper, for example. This might very well backfire by Jeff, right? Zia could lead a diamond against 3-no, and that's going to make it very easy for Declare to unblock the clubs, cross to the spade ace. But anyway, I think that's what's going on with the double from West. North has this decision to make. I wonder if anyone got to 6 clubs on this board. Suppose we can check once the set wraps up. But Fleisher down 18. They're going to need some pickups. I would say this board has a chance to be a pickup. Oh, not anymore. North has made, I don't know, a decision and has bypassed 3-no trump. I have to say I'm a little surprised from North's perspective. Bypassing 3-no. Because you don't know what your partner has. I mean, it's great that you have this club suit, but your partner might equally just have a long-running diamond suit and only needs a spade stopper for 3-no to make. I think you just have to show your spade stopper here. But this is going to go quite well for them. 5 clubs has no trouble whatsoever making. And could easily make with an overtrick. Get the king of spades lead. My guess is that Declare plays 3 rounds of diamonds, pitching a heart. It just can't be the case that East has a singleton diamond and didn't lead it. So I suspect we're going to see 3 rounds of diamonds, throwing the heart loser. Plan would be to just cross ruff from there. Ruff hearts in your hand, spades in the dummy. If East ruffs and returns a club, you're still okay. You're only at the 5 level. You can start ruffing hearts in hand and spades in the dummy once again. I guess things get a little dicey. You'll probably have to ruff the 3rd round of hearts with the 6 of clubs or something. And you're going to need East to not be able to overruff that. But anyway, we'll find out what Declare elects to do. Alternative might be to try and set up the heart suit. That would be more appealing if East 2 spade bid was intermediate. I mean, they say good week too. I wonder if that's often going to include the ace of hearts. But to me, a good week 2 could just as easily be king, queen, 10, 6 than like 6, 4, 2, 1. Presumably with some outside card, like maybe the heart queen. But some sort of distributional type hand. So not necessarily like an intermediate 2 where it's, say, 9 to 13 highs. But it looks like whatever Declare does, they're going to come up with 11 or 12 tricks. Look, most straightforward to me, I think, is still just to play 3 rounds of diamonds, pitching a heart. Like, if East has the ace of hearts, then that line also is going to work fine. East ruffs, returns a club, we can ruff hearts. If East ever dumps the heart ace, we can use the king of hearts to pitch a spade loser. And if East doesn't dump the heart ace, we can just ruff hearts in our hand low. Have a high cross ruff eventually. But Declare has taken his time. Maybe commiserating that he has not ended up in 6 clubs, which appears to be a reasonable spot. Again, I don't know all that much about Mike Levine. I don't know if I've ever played against him. I probably have, but I do not recall him by face. I wonder if the 2-spade opener could be based on a 7-card suit. Like, would Zia open 2 spades with King, Queen, 10, 7th, and nothing outside? Spade ruff would not have occurred to me. I don't think it hurts anything, but it feels like we've now committed to ace, king, queen of diamonds, which is fine. I don't mind that plan. But I don't know, it just looks really strange to me to ruff a spade at trick 2. So ace of diamonds, king of diamonds, queen of diamonds, we will pitch our heart. Maybe this is actually a little better than my plan of 3 rounds of diamonds. I guess you unblock the club suit faster, and maybe you only need to ruff like 2 hearts in your hand. Yeah, that appears to be the case. Okay. Alright, I'm sold. Spade ruff at trick 2 is probably better than what I was suggesting, but only being in 5 clubs, I'm not sure how much any of this matters. So Zia ruffs, he will return a trump, of course. Of course. There it is. Now Declare does get to win, ruff a heart, ruff a spade, ruff a heart, and pull trumps. I guess once the clubs have split, we can just start ruffing hearts high. Don't even need to worry about the 7-0 heart division between the opponent's hands. Oh, also the 8-7 of clubs have all dropped, so we do just have a high cross ruff at this point. Everything leads to 9 or 11 tricks. Will be a small pickup to Fleisher. 1 imp. They managed to make an over trick in 3-0 in the other room. But that is not the, 13 imp swing that they were hoping for 6 clubs bid and made. Or, sorry, that would have been a large loss. It wasn't the big swing they were hoping for from 3-0 bid and going down. But I guess it's just good bidding judgment by North. Okay, we're taking a long time to play out the rest of this hand when Declare just has a claim. we're taking quite a while. Still going, huh? Are we gonna run the club suit now? Does Levine have a 20 imp penalty? Oh my god. Do they? Wait. How do I find this out? I did notice that there were some adjustments. I hope I can open this in a different window. I can. This is good. Wait. Oh no, I might have spoiled myself. Oh god, no, I didn't mean to do this. Do they have a 20 imp penalty? Well, I'm gonna go with yes. But I don't know. I'm not certain. That seems like a lot. They have been bad boys on a lot of boards. Actually, I don't know. I just got here. But it's very possible that they have been very naughty on several boards and gotten in trouble. Where would that even come from? 20 imps. I guess it's some sort of like procedural penalties, but I'm not sure what kind of procedural. Would it be slow play? Slow play might be the most reasonable explanation. But wow, I accidentally looked at the final score. So I'm going to say, or maybe it wasn't the final score. Maybe it was actually just, who knows? Anyway, no spoilers, no spoilers. One no trump in the East. So it could be the match is a lot closer than we think. Other table also played one no. I don't think I was paying any attention to this hand at the other table. So how does the contract look? We have 2 heart tricks. We have 4 club tricks if we just ignore the finesse. That's probably going to be what declared. Oh, the 9 of hearts wins in dummy. Never mind. Now we can take the club hook. Probably going to set up some diamonds. I mean, the spades are pretty badly positioned for declare. But it's hard to believe that declare is going to lose too many tricks on this one. It could be a couple of imps. And that's going to matter a lot because we're certain that the match is very close, right? So if 20 imps, let me actually look. I know there's these like scales, which I treat as like an adjustment. So that is not the right button to click. Okay, USB-C open Fleisher minus 19.75. So Levine, aha. Okay, well, confirmation on Lovebridge's site, Levine is currently down 2 3/4 imps. Let me see if I can get a little graphic up here. Let's see. So 237.5 Levine. Oh, 0.25. And Fleisher 240. Let me do this. Let's see how big it is. Oh, move this here. There we go. So according to Lovebridge's site, this is the current score of the match. So Levine is actually down and the match is quite close. Great. Which, how is East-West doing in a no-trump here? In the other room, they made 150. And here, North-South already has 5 tricks. North can cash the ace of spades for another trick. Which he probably should. I haven't really been following the play, but I'm just looking at all 4 hands. So cashing the ace of spades would result in declare taking only 7 tricks. Big deal in a match this close. Definitely a big deal. I will be ready to update the scoreboard when we have a result on this hand. So if North cashes the spade ace, declare will take 7 tricks, and that will be a 3/4 imp difference going into the last board. Now remember, this is on a 30-minute delay, and so all the players have already finished approximately 30 minutes ago, so they know what's going on, but we are being kept in suspense. But wow, this is quite the finish. Okay, there's the ace of spades. So 2 imps going the way of Levine, who still needs a pickup on the last hand, and I don't recall what happened on board 60 in the other room. Oh, I remember this one. North-South got bid and made 4 spades. Whoa! I mean, 4 spades bid and made is a huge result for North-South. They have limited high cards and only an 8-card fit. And, you know, double dummy, I guess you can beat it if West leads a low heart at trick one. I'm not convinced I'm right about that, but I think it gives the defense a chance. So that East can put a diamond through. Huh. So how is North-South going to pick up imps on this board? A heart, a no trump. Okay. 2 spades by South. We saw a bit of a similar thing in the other room, but Joe Grue was forced to bid 3 spades, showing a good hand with spades. No real difference between what the bids show. Just a different level. West bids 2-no. 2-no is a bit of a strange bid. I don't disagree with West's choice. Oh, they're playing precision, so it makes a lot more sense. I was going to say, like, with only 15 highs, it feels a little weird. It's not that I disagree with the fact that Jeff believes 3-no might be a more likely contract to make than 4 hearts, with the balanced hand type and a long-running suit, as well as a spade stopper. But okay, so 2-no. Fetches 3 hearts from East, pass, pass. Everyone's waiting on you, Mike. You gotta do something. 3 hearts passes out. Oh no. I think that means Fleisher has pulled it off. They've held off the comeback. Again, I'm not certain that I have the scores right, but from what I believe is that the match is fairly close, and the other room bid and made 4 spades for the Fleischer squad. Hey, V8. Oh, spelling? Oh, shut up. What are you? Some sort of professional streamer over here trying to correct me? Fleischer. I'm just becoming more and more dyslexic. That's what I'm going to blame it on. Fleischer. Enjoyed my commentary? Well, thanks for tuning in. Good to have you as always. What if I'm wrong about the scores? Okay, so really quick, I'm going to hide this graphic. This is what's actually being displayed, is that Levine is up by 19. But I think this is the true score. If Will and Lovebridge's sight are to be believed, then the match is actually a lot closer. So if Fleischer is up, if Fleischer's down 19, and they play in 3 hearts down 1 and 4 spades making, that is not enough to win the match. I guess it all comes down to whatever the adjustment was from earlier. A bit heartbreaking for Levine. It's got to be sad to lose a match like this, where, you know, in the bridge perspective, you did better than your opposition, but from the match perspective, whatever the adjustment is, you ended up losing a few imps. I guess we'll find out tomorrow when we see who's sitting down. That is some of the most exciting things. If a match goes into like overtime and you're the team that's like waiting to find out who your opponent is, sometimes you just go to sleep or you're out at the bar or something. And so you don't find out who you're playing until you sit down at the table the next day. I believe North-South are going to come to 2 clubs and a diamond from here. It's hard to imagine doing worse than that. They might beat this 2 if East-West misguess the diamond suit somehow. it appears that East-West are not misguessing the diamond suit. Mech doesn't even try to lead the Jack of Diamonds off dummy. He's just playing low to the king. Fair enough. Quite reasonable given South's 2-spade overcall. But I think a lot of players might have been tempted to like pull trumps and lead clubs to find out the location of the ace-king of clubs before doing this. Like if South turns up with the club ace-king, maybe you don't play him for the diamond ace. But all right. 3 hearts, declarer. I mean, declarer has some potential to make this if North-South don't cash out. It's not going to work, but he could like pull a trump, unblock the diamond king, cross to dummy and hearts, take a diamond hook, trying to set up a diamond winner to pitch a club. North with queen fourth of diamonds, though, is not going to make any mistakes. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to click on... I really shouldn't. But I kind of want to see where the other matches are. We will still leave this up in the top. Let's just move this thing out of the way. Nickel appears to have closed out their match. They did end up playing the last segment of play, so no concessions there. Leibowitz also appears to have closed out their match. Fleisher, Levine, so this is where I was getting the 239.25 to 240 number from. Not certain that's correct, but it does look like it takes into account this minus 19.75 here, some sort of penalty, and Rosenthal cleaned up in the last segment. Wow, 75. That might have been an exciting one to look at. Let me take a quick look at the scorecard. Oh my God, this is the worst sight I've ever seen. Win 5, win 10, win 13, lose 1. Lose 1 for 3-no doubled. That's got to feel kind of bad. Win 10, win 7, another win 13 here. 3-no going down and 3-no making, both on the same opening lead. Shame, shame. Declare play is really important. But, wow. 6 clubs been made in one room, 5 clubs been made in the other. Oh, this is probably this is that hand, isn't it? This is board 58, the one with the blocked club suit. Aha, aha. Okay, so it wasn't the fault of, it wasn't bad declare play, it was just good defense in one of the rooms. That's fair enough. Yikes, did no one reach the heart slam on board 57? It's a little sad to not bid and make, or bid to a completely cold slam, like 100%. Okay, let's head back over here. Well, we do see the kind of that plan I was talking about. Meckstroth was trying to set up a diamond discard for one of his clubs when North-South did not cash out. It didn't work. And 3 hearts is going to sail down 1. So I think that means Fleischer is moving on. Don't be confused by the scores here. I believe that that Fleischer actually won this match fairly comfortably. Okay, let's head back and just look at all the results in the big screen. So Fleischer here, this is the match we were just watching, ended up winning by over 11 imps. But they were leading going into the last hand, mostly due to this penalty that Levine accrued over the course of play. I don't know when that happened, but a very closely contested battle. And one of the things I would say is that as the top seed, Nickel gets to be more well-rested as the event proceeds. Like, they probably didn't have to think all that hard for the last few segments. They were already well ahead. They could just kind of comfortably sit back and make normal bids and plays. They didn't need to try for any obscure squeezes or anything like that. They could just cash all their tricks and kind of comfortably cruise to victory. Whereas matches like this between Fleisher and Levine, and maybe some of the other matches as well, I don't know exactly the states of those, but Rosenthal-Bramley, big pickups for Rosenthal in the final segment. Fleisher is going to be very tired going into their match tomorrow because they've been pushed kind of to the extreme just to win this match. So the fact that Nickel has the 1 seed and is presumably playing against the weaker of the teams that still remain in the event, obviously all the teams are quite good, that can aid them moving forward.